Can you tell us a little bit more about Mr. Anderson, a little bit about his background, why you're interested in him?
Right now, again, Mr. Anderson is the subject of an investigation, and any further information I cannot share with you.
We touched on this briefly when Orlando Anderson gets arrested after Tupac's murder during all the raids, and he gets picked up. The house he was in that they arrested him out of was on Burris, there in the heart of Southside territory. And they found guns and ammunition in there, and he tried to claim it wasn't his house, but like his high school diploma was on the wall. Like, so it was kind of hard to...
Right.
You know what I mean? How do you say it's not your house and it's your diploma on the wall? But do you remember, I believe you were present for when Vegas detectives interviewed him, because apparently they interviewed him in the parking lot of Compton Police Station. And I think you were there for that.
I remember briefly they did when they brought him in. Mm-hmm. But when we interviewed him, and there was two detectives that went on the race with us from Vegas. We tell them, hey, we're going to interview this guy. We're really going to interview him, so we need you to come down there. We're going to put him on video, and we're going to talk with him. Their attitude, I don't want to say because I don't know those guys. I can't say if their attitude was good or bad because it might have just been their attitude. That don't give a shit attitude. But what I saw as been an investigator was like, don't give a shit attitude. They didn't seem to care. And we sit there for a while, and we can't figure out why we're running this interview. This is not a crime. They're not saying anything. And a lot of the crime information we had was from them. We wasn't there. We didn't go to that scene.
Right.
So we was asking questions about a crime that we really don't know much about other than what we've been given.
Sure.
They're not chiming in, and we can't figure it out. Finally, they say, hey, look, you guys go ahead and seem like you guys on top of this. Go ahead and take care of this, and we'll get back with you later. I'm like,
it's interesting you said he was nervous after that, and I saw an account by one of the Vegas detectives, and he said the same thing. There, Orlando was kind of shaking a little bit, and
he was very nervous.
Yeah, we want to talk to you. Well, what about? It was, I think you know what it's about. About a murder, and we think
he wanted to know about the murder, and he was really curious about the guns that came out of his house. I don't know why. Like you said, if you said they're not your guns, not your house, why are you worried about this shit? That's why I couldn't figure it out. But he was worried about it, and he was talking about it, and he didn't talk much. He wanted to stay away from the house. He wanted to stay away from Vegas. He wanted to stay away from Tupac. He wanted to stay away from everything. But then when we finished talking, we didn't get much out of him that day. I was going to walk him back up because I had to report with him. I walked him back up to the jail to put him in jail, back into his cell. And that walk took like an hour. The guy could see the fear in his face for the first time in his life. I saw fear in him. But little did he know, I couldn't tell him that, I really don't want to say it on camera, that Vegas really didn't give a shit. Excuse my language. I couldn't tell him that. You'll probably be okay. Because from what I'm reading from these investigators, this gangster crap is back where it belongs in Compton. And we really don't give a care. We're going to go have us some breakfast, and we're going to go back to Vegas, and we're going to be fat, dumb, and happy. I shouldn't call them that.
Right.
And you guys can deal with your gangsters any way you want to.
Wow.
But we're telling these people we can't deal with these guys. We're not police officers in the state of Nevada, and we can't enforce a Nevada crime. We're California police officers. We can only enforce California crimes. So we can't enforce this homicide with this guy no matter what we get from him. There's nothing we can do with it without you. They didn't seem to care that much. And obviously, they care now because they solved a case that was solved in 1997, 96, or whenever that happened. Now all of a sudden, some younger guys got it. Oh, we solved it. Man, we solved this and wrapped it up in a nice, pretty bow, a blue bow, and gave it to you. You didn't want it.
Wow.
He just wanted to talk about life and about everything, but what do you think going to happen? And I can't tell him, like I told you, I don't think anything is going to happen. As you notice, The investigators from the scene, from the crime scene, walked out. I didn't get a good feeling from that. I don't know how you feel about that, but I didn't get a good feeling about it. So I can't tell you anything. I'm not your lawyer, and I can't tell you shit. But if it was me, I probably wouldn't be worried about this much. They walked out. They didn't seem to care. Me and my partners, we can't investigate Vegas crimes.
Right.
That's a whole different state.
Do you remember anything else that he talked about on that walk, or anything else he asked about?
He was concerned about what was going to happen to him.
Yeah.
He was concerned about what happened in Vegas, him getting stomped. Was he going to have some issues from that? He was concerned about there being a problem with him and Suge Knight, Death Row, and Mob Piru. I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't there. So, but you're saying that was Suge stomping you and Tupac? Well, I don't want to talk about that. Anything criminal he didn't want to talk about, but he wanted information from it.
Mm-hmm, of course.
But I can't tell you that if you don't tell me you're there. Well, I wasn't there. I don't know what you're talking about. Looking back now, I think he had already been talking with Suge about what they're going to do about this parole violation, because they seem to make that disappear pretty quickly.
Yeah, and the story is that he was paid.
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. So either he hadn't talked with them, but maybe sometime after that they got together and got that solved pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because he forgotten everything that happened that night, even being in Vegas. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some interview with him when he's with his lawyer and he's being asked, when did he find out? How did he find out that Tupac was shot or something like that? And he said something that made it sound like he wasn't even in Las Vegas when it happened. And his lawyer immediately jumped in and said, no, strike that, because she immediately realized that's obviously a lie. You're on video.
You're on video.
There
Exactly.
That night. You were obviously like.
When I heard that Tupac was shot, when I was at home. Matter of fact, I was at home, like.
No, with the one thing. Okay.
You did not hear about it. Someone didn't call you and tell you about it at home.
And I don't doubt that, because Suge's lawyer was pretty shaky.
Do you know what Orlando Anderson's reputation was in Compton after Tupac's murder? Because some people are like, he just kind of became a legend, at least in his neighborhood. Well,
see, that was one thing that no one talked about with him. I would see him from time to time, but he still was that, with me, he had portrayed that mild-mannered attitude. And the way he portrayed himself with me, never thought he would be a killer, but he was. That guy was a stone cold killer.